Note on left and right in the Twitter files. Mainstream outlets try to grind every news story into great deep partisan hamburger, and Twitter files coverage is no exception. The Washington Post even called me a conservative journalist for a few minutes. This isn't a left or right project. The question that interests me, how these companies have been absorbed as intelligence arms, is more future/dystopia than blue/red. But that story is hard to sell, as see we're getting the usual stupidity. Still, well-meaning people have questions. Obviously, I know voices on the left have been moderated a lot, because I've been interviewing them for years. But we're all trying to triage time, and instead of looking up individual accounts, most of us have been looking at broader search terms to start, like FBI, COVID, DHS, etc. I did look up accounts connected to Julian Assange. His PV2 page doesn't show anything unusual, just automated suspensions of an abandoned account, and I found no record of, say, a government-initiated action. That doesn't mean such intervention doesn't exist. It may be in a Slack or an email somewhere. It's a big haystack. We'll keep looking. A few actions hit both Republicans and Democrats. Some FBI offices were clearly running searches of November 4th to catch people trying to trick others into not voting, and this snared both Biden and Trump voters in silly numbers. There are interesting/ambiguous details, like a decision we found in which the company considered restricting all moderation decisions involving Biden or Trump to 4 senior executives. But Twitter did have a clear political monoculture. I ran searches for both RNC and DNC, cross-referenced against senior executives. RNC turned up pages about Republicans suing the company. DNC returned mountains of insistent moderation demands. Some of the latter were quite funny and revealing. In multiple instances, Twitter initially decided not to remove videos lampooning Joe Biden because they were obvious parodies unlikely to cause offline harm or generate confusion. These included a deceptively edited video of Biden coughing and a Todos con Biden Trumo spoof. Usually Twitter was responding to complaints from one very valuable DNC staffer and still applied warning labels to such content. In one case, they refused to do either. Because the video is an unaltered excerpt of the vice president's speech, our teams consider it to be out of context, but not deceptive, Twitter told the staffer, who fumed, "These rules need revision." In the process, they sent a graph of their bizarre moderation flowchart, which among other things showed they can still apply labels to non-deceptive material. This seemed more interesting than the fate of a Biden coughing mashup. If this kind of mechanized speech control can be used one way today, it can be used in another tomorrow, especially if unseen enforcement officials are pushing on the levers. People will try to make this story about who did and did not benefit and argue this endlessly. But the utility of the project is showing everyone how the machine worked, which we're trying to do.